Commercial and Logistics Center.
Trade that passes through this particular center a year to be worth over $150 million US.
Good evening, I am Kanki Mwaigomole. You can also follow us live via our YouTube channel, TBC Online, and also get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook, and X pages at TBC Online. President Samia Suluhu Hassan has led Tanzanians and other international dignitaries in commemorating the Heroes Day celebrations held at the Mashujaa grounds in the government city of Mutumba in Dodoma. Here's a story by Castilia Mwanosa, read by Caroline Maleo.
July 25th of every year, Tanzania marks Mashujaa Day, which aims to remember and honor all those who sacrificed their lives in fighting for the country's independence and protect the peace and unity of the nation. And here, President and Commander-in-Chief Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan arrives at Mashujaa Stadium. Then President Samia Suluhu Hassan places the spear and shield on the Heroes Monument. The Chief of Defense Forces, General Jacob Mkunda, places a knife at the Heroes Monument. Then the representatives of the heroes who fought in the Kagera War, Ambassador retired Brigadier General Francis Mdolwa, places an axe and emphasizing that Tanzania continues to treasure peace.
Our country has come a long way, and it needs the contribution of every citizen to remain a peaceful nation.
Some of the Dodoma residents expressed their hope and confidence over the fallen heroes who fought for the nation's freedom.
The strong leadership of our country, led by the late father of the nation and upheld by our courageous heroes, stood firm to protect and defend our nation.
We thank
President Samia for safeguarding our peace. Every time I see her picture online, I always comment, "Thank you, President Samia, for protecting our peace." Our young people must be faithful, calm and full of love so they can carry on the peace that was left to us by the father of the nation, Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere.
The issue of preserving peace and stability has been underscored as the foundation of all other economic progress in the nation. Caroline Maleo, TBC News.
The Director General of the Tanzania Investment and Special Economic Zones Authority, TISEZA, Gilead Terry, says President Samia Suluhu Hassan is expected to officially launch the modern East African Commercial and Logistics Center located at Ubungo area in Dar es Salaam. He made the remarks in Dar es Salaam while meeting with journalists, identifying the date of the launch to be August the 2nd this year. Rehema Sebabili has more details.
Speaking during the meeting, Terry said that the center plays a critical role in Tanzania's economic growth through the export promotion of Tanzanian products abroad, and the country expects to benefit from annual revenues estimated at $10 million every year.
There'll be shopping outlets here. There'll be export support services here. There will be regular services for Dar es Salaam residents here as well. And we expect that the amount of business and trade that passes through this particular center a year to be worth over $150 million.
Terry further says the EACLC investment is not a threat to Kariakoo.
Kariakoo has over 30,000 shopping outlets. This center only has 2,000. It's less than 10% of what Kariakoo is. So I personally, statistically speaking and economically speaking as an investment expert, don't see this as a challenge to the Kariakoo platform. But I think it just cements the center of Kariakoo to the Dar es Salaam economy.
On the other hand, Ubungo municipality economist Andambike Kiomo says through the project they will benefit through land rent tax of an average of 1 billion shillings every year and 500 million shillings through taxes and business license fees in the shop, where the funds will be used to improve community services in the municipality, while the supervisor of the center, Katie Wang, makes it clear that some shops in the building have already been taken and the business have started.
We are going to collect almost more than 1 billion from land rent, and this rent will be reviewed every after 3 years.
This 75,000 square meters commercial complex is more than just a building. It's not just a building. It's also a vital trading bridge connecting East Africa countries with the global supplier markets.
The East African Commercial and Logistics Investment Center cost a total of $110 million. From Dar es Salaam, Rahima Sababili, TBC News.
In other news, the East African Community Sectorial Council on Finance and Economic Affairs has reached an agreement to prepare a list of products that will be subject to the abolition of taxes and duties as part of the implementation of the Cooperation Protocol to stimulate trade and investment in the community. Speaking to TBC News, the Minister of Finance, Dr. Mwigulu Nchemba, who led the Tanzanian delegation at the first extraordinary meeting of the Sectorial Council on Finance and Economic Affairs held in Arusha, adds that the meeting also discussed the tax measures in the financial laws of member countries that have the effect of discriminating against products produced within the community countries.
We were discussing the issue of harmonizing various taxes and duties, particularly those related to customs. We agreed that each member state should compile a list of goods that, according to the East African Cooperation Protocol, should be exempt for customs duties. It was agreed that this list will be prepared and a template for the table has already been provided. Therefore, all member states will follow the same format and the respective experts will work on it accordingly.
The step is in implementation of the directives of the 46th meeting of the Sectorial Council of Ministers in charge of trade, industry, finance and investment, and the agreement of the Ministers of Finance during the budget consultations at the meetings held in May 2025. Today is the International Day for Women and Girls of African Descent, and in honoring the strength, the spirit, and the unbreakable will of those who came before us, TBC News has prepared a story about 3 heroines in Africa's long and relentless journey towards liberation. It was not only men who marched and led, it was also women, fierce and unwavering, who stood at the front line. This is a story of 3 daughters of the continent, Queen Nzinga of Angola, Bibi Titi Mohammed of Tanzania, and Winnie Mandela of South Africa. Faida Ngaga has more details.
In the dawn of Tanganyika's liberation, a queen emerged, daughter of the coast, mother of Tanganyika's liberation movement, Bibi Titi Mohammed. Born in 1926 in Dar es Salaam, like many of her peers who didn't receive formal education, she learned a lot from her parents and family. In the 1950s, she was one of those pushing for Tanganyika's independence from the British rule, alongside Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere, under the umbrella of the Tanganyika African National Union, TANU. Bibi Titi Mohammed was a pioneer of women participation in the struggle for independence in Tanganyika. At the beginning of her political career, she convinced a large number of women to join the struggle. As leader of TANU's women wing, she was responsible for recruiting women and convincing them to endorse the ideas and policies of TANU. As Bibi Titi's voice mobilized the women of Tanganyika into political action, thousands of miles to the south, another storm was quietly gathering. in the township of apartheid South Africa, where freedom struggles were punished and defiance was dangerous, a young social worker named Winnie Madikizela Mandela was preparing to carry the weight of a revolution on her shoulders. While Nelson Mandela was in prison for 27 years, Winnie Mandela became the face of resistance in South Africa. As a result, she was banned, beaten and exiled. But still, she raised the fist of the ANC high when others bowed low. She inspired a generation to believe in freedom even when it felt like fiction. She is considered as the mother of the nation of South Africa.
I reached a point, I think, a threshold where the body could not take the pain anymore, and then I would faint. Those were the most beautiful moments. The body rested, and when they threw a bucket of water to wake me up, it didn't matter that I was soaking wet. I got up, I was so refreshed, and I started fighting all over again.
In the ancient kingdoms of Ndongo and Matamba, which is present-day Angola, in the 17th century Africa, there existed another towering figure of leadership and colonial resistance, Queen Nzinga Mbande. Born around 1583 to Ngola Kiluanji and Kangela, Nzinga was thrust into an era of turmoil as the Portuguese intensified their colonial expansion, disrupting the social, political, and economic fabric of her homeland. Her upbringing in the royal family of Ndongo instilled in her a keen understanding of statecraft and military tactics, which would later define her rule. Queen Nzinga is perhaps best known for her military acumen. She trained her army in the art of guerrilla warfare, conducting hit-and-run attacks on Portuguese settlements and supply lines, which severely disrupted their operations. Her leadership inspired other African leaders to resist European colonization, making her a symbol of Pan-African resistance. From the royal halls of Ndongo to the protest grounds of Soweto and the vibrant streets of Dar es Salaam, Bibi Titi Mohammed, Winnie Mandela, and Queen Nzinga stand as towering symbols of resistance. They fought empires, defied patriarchy, and dared to lead in times when silence was expected of women. Their courage carved pathways not just for freedom, but for generations of African women to walk tall. Faiba Ngaga, TBC News.
Tanzania and the Republic of Zimbabwe vow to strengthen ties by focusing more on the key development sectors, including trade and investment, defense, information and communication technology, education and training, tourism, culture, and sports. The commitment was reached today during the talks held on the sideline of the 27th meeting of the Ministerial Committee of the SADC Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation, involving the Minister of Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation, Ambassador Mahmoud Thabit Kombo, and the Zimbabwean counterpart, Professor Amon Murira, in Dar es Salaam. During the talks, the ministers expressed their country's commitment to foster diplomatic and economic cooperation for the benefit of the peoples of both sides. On the other hand, Ambassador Kombo adds that Zimbabwe has been a long-standing partner of Tanzania and that there are many development opportunities that the two countries can jointly exploit. Furthermore, Professor Moreira stressed on the importance of investing in higher education, research and innovation as engines of development for a modern economy, adding that Zimbabwe is ready to collaborate with Tanzania in establishing exchange programs for students, researchers and university teachers. The African Development Bank Group and the Eastern and Southern Africa Anti-Money Laundering Group have today officially launched a 3-year support project to combat money laundering and terrorism financing in select member countries under a project titled Regional Capacity Development Project for Eastern and Southern Africa Anti-Money Laundering Group on anti-money laundering and combating the financing of terrorism. The project will be financed by a grant from the African Development Bank Group's Transition Support Facility of approximately $5.2 million.
The African continent loses about $600 billion every 12 months in money laundering, corruption, and terrorism financing related activities. So what we have done in Dar es Salaam today is we have identified 5 countries that need support the most in this specific area, money laundering and terrorism financing.
That this is a real important project for these 5 countries, because once they strengthen their systems, they will not only benefit as countries, but also for the region. So we expected to see a lot in the improvement of the financial system in general.
The project, which will be implemented by the Eastern and Southern Africa Anti-Money Laundering Group Secretariat, will contribute to resilience in the Eastern and Southern African region by improving anti-money laundering terrorism financing regimes.
Countries to create all these structures, but is to help them now to be self-sufficient in creating their own resources and avoiding all these leakages that we experience, outflows of monies through illegal means, and to make sure that they are able to raise revenue and focus on developmental issues which are critical.
The grant complements the bank group's strategic and operational engagements at country and regional levels, also aligns with its policy on the prevention of illicit financial flows. Meanwhile, the Association of Consulting Engineers in Tanzania has announced a significant shift towards integrating artificial intelligence into its project implementation strategies. The move is designed to enhance the quality and efficiency of projects, aligning with the nation's Vision 2050 goals for accelerated economic growth. The remarks have been made during the 39th ASET General Meeting, which focuses on artificial intelligence, revolutionizing efficiency and quality in project design and supervision.
From smart infrastructure to intelligence decision-making, artificial intelligence can no longer be a distant concept. In today's meeting, we receive reports from the Council and discuss key developments of our association, such as the review of the Constitution and the Strategic Plan 2025-2029.
It's something when even the students in the schools now are depending on ChatGPT, and I don't know if they are really studying, but they've made their life easier, and I would believe that engineers should not make their life easier as far as artificial intelligence is concerned.
On the other hand, the TANROADS Chief Executive Officer, Engineer Mohammed Besta, emphasizes the government's commitment to formulate a national AI policy to support this technological advancement, adding that the initiative will empower engineers with the tools needed to drive sustainable economic development through innovative applications of AI.
We believe that as engineers, and with the way the world is progressing, we cannot continue to work as we used to. We are in the era of AI, and our curriculum, along with our work in the engineering industry, needs to change to align with technological changes worldwide.
Digital innovation.
The Commissioner General Tanzania Revenue Authority, TRA, Yusuf Mwenda, says his authority is fully committed to align with the National Development Vision 2050 to ensure sustainable and inclusive economy. The Commissioner General made the remarks during the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding between Tanzania Revenue Authority and the International Bureau of Fiasco Documentation, which aims to build capacity among TRA staffs on tax compliances.
The country embarks on a new long-term national development plan, the DIRA 2050, which seeks to ensure a prosperous, just, inclusive, and self-reliant nation. And that cannot be attained without having a more efficient and strong tax revenue authority. And that can only be attained through enhancing capacity of our staff. And what you're doing actually is ensuring that the DIRA 2050 is fully implemented.
On the other hand, the director of the International Bureau of Fiasco Documentation, Victor Van Korma, vows to continue to cooperate with TRA international tax compliances so as to enhance capability of TRA staff.
Want to intensify our cooperation. It is also very good to see that part of this program is funded by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Netherlands. We like to continue in that way, but we have to be honest as well that the donor landscape is changing rapidly. Dus only therefore domestic revenue mobilization becomes more and more important. But it is also very good, and we have seen it in the last couple of years, that TRA also make themselves allocation in their budget to say training is for us important.
In other news, due to the limited number of health professionals in the sleep medicine and safe anesthesia unit in the country, the Afrin MediHealth Solution Institute vows to continue to train local experts to ensure they provide quality and safe services to Tanzanians who have been experiencing pain after treatment. Speaking during anesthesia training camp closing farewell in Dar es Salaam, the director of the institute, Sonia Hanspour, says 80 healthy professionals in the field of anesthesia have been trained to ensure they expand their skills to provide better services to Tanzanians.
Anesthesia is very crucial, and it does not always get its recognition and its reward that it requires. Dr. Bala Venkata had met a couple of years ago, and he was very enthusiastic of doing something across and continue to teach and learn and grow. We basically decided to do this over one phone call when Dr. Bala Venkata said we should do something as collaboration. So we decided to collaborate with SATA as well as APSF to do a masterclass in Tanzania, which we were able to do at Muhimbili, and we did that at various hospitals across.
3 days was a big learning experience. It produced a great amount of connect between the professionals of both the nations, and we feel that this will richly benefit the patient community for better outcomes. We look forward to continuing this collaboration with online sessions, and we look forward to coming to Tanzania.
On the other hand, the president-elect of the Society of Anesthesiologists of Tanzania says the focus is not just to provide services, but also to provide quality and good services.
You know, medicine evolves, medicine changes. So you need to get people who can expose you to whatever is happening in other side of the world. We cannot just do it by ourselves. And through Afrin, we had the chance to meet this expertise from India, and they've been with almost 80 anesthesiologists. Now they are coming from all over the regions of this country. They've been here for 3 days, learning sessions, doing it with their hands, in the lecture rooms, but also they did it in the operating rooms. And then we expect when they go back to their hospitals in the region, they are going to introduce this new knowledge for the benefit of the Tanzanians, for the benefit of the nations.
Meanwhile, the Postmaster General Macris Mbodo says One Stop Center and the Tanzania Ports Corporation will streamline service delivery by bringing together services from various institutions at one location, reducing the need for citizens to visit multiple offices and enable people to access government services more conveniently. He made the remarks in Dar es Salaam during a special visit of World Bank representatives who funded the project.
We want to provide government services to all citizens under one roof. That means if you visit that one roof, single roof, then you will have all government services. So the impact will be, number one, the citizen, there will be reduced time. Because currently, they visit different offices to get a completion of a single service. But a completion of this project, actually, a citizen, when they visit a single roof, he or she will accomplish all the government services. But number two, even the cost will be reduced. Because currently you travel and probably you sleep so that you get a service and then move into another office. So there are a lot of costs in that value chain which will be eliminated at all, because we just go to a single roof and then get the services, you go back home and you continue in other development activities of the country.
On the other hand, the representative from World Bank, Paul Seedon, expresses his certification of construction progress and praises Tanzania's efforts in transforming the government services.
And I think seeing this facility today really allows us to visualise the services that will then be deployed physically. As the Postmaster General mentioned, we're expecting that to be online now by February, March next year. So we are only now months away from seeing these facilities online, having those digital services built and deployed, but also having the physical touch point that we have here in the one-stop shop. So.
One-stop center for digital government services is expected to be completed in March 2026, whereby all digital government services will be accessible at the same center under Tanzania Ports Corporation. And finally, today on Beyond the Ballot, we take a closer look at the Democratic Party, DP, one of 18 political parties gearing up for Tanzania's October general elections. Peter Mganga has a following report.
The Democratic Party is a political party in Tanzania. The party was registered on 7th June 2002, led by Rev. Christopher Mtikila. In elections for the Zanzibar Presidents and House of Representatives on 30th October 2005, Democratic Party presidential candidate Abdallah Ali Abdallah won 0.1% of the vote. The party failed to win any seats in concurrent House of Assembly elections. In an election held on 14th December 2005, Christopher Mtikila placed 6th out of 10 candidates, winning 0.2% of the vote. The party failed to win any seats in the National Assembly elections held on the same day. The Democratic Party in Tanzania is a political party with a focus on promoting multi-part democracy, good governance, and the rule of law. The party's values include political tolerance, collaboration, transparency, inclusivity, integrity, and innovation. Peter Mganga, TBC News, Dar es Salaam.
And that marks the end of the news bulletin for tonight. Don't miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. On behalf of the whole team, I'm Kanki Mwegomole. Good night.
TBC1, ukweli na uhakika.